This episode is brought to you by Hymns.
Hello. Oh, what's in that dark hole? Welcome everyone to the fourth installment, or the cherry on top, so to speak.
This is a bonus episode add-on to our 50 Shades trilogy.
We couldn't get enough.
You guys asked for it. One of you asked for it. We're delivering. More of you asked for Show Dogs, but you know, there's a lot of weird stuff. They had to recut that movie. Anyways, book club. Welcome to Funhaus.
Yeah, good intro.
Yeah,
it's pretty solid. Should we introduce ourselves?
I don't know. I drank a lot during the movie.
Shut up! I'm America's sweetheart, Mary Steenburgen. I'm Diane Lane.
And I am Murphy Brown.
Wait, no. I want to be Jane Fonda. I changed my mind.
Ooh, nice.
Because I'm a seductress, and you can see up.
You can see up your dress.
You can see up my cooter.
For the audio listeners, we are cross-dressing right now.
What? No, we're not cross-dressing. We're just in character as our favorite characters from the film, because no one dressed up as Diane Lane.
There you go. Diane Lane sucks.
Diane Lane.
Anyways,
yeah, John, explain to the one or two people who doesn't know what book club is.
So for those that don't know, Book Club is a new movie that's out right now, blowing up in the box office.
Huge.
That's
why Solo did so poorly.
About a book club. Yeah, did you not realize that during the movie?
Just got that.
They kind of ditched it pretty fast.
They did.
Yeah. That was just like the intro for, these characters.
Let it
but
out,
it's
man.
basically, they've been in a book club for 40 years.
I liked it the first time when it was called First Wives Club.
Boom!
Eat that.
Is it a similar movie?
That's a Diane Keaton burn.
Is she in both?
You know it.
That's
I
so
thought Nicole
weird.
Kidman.
Probably.
was in that.
I don't think so.
Or I'm thinking of when they were clones. Stepford
Sorry,
Wives.
what's the movie
I'm thinking of
about?
Stepford
Tell
Wives.
us what the movie's about, John.
Yeah.
It's about 4 postmenopausal women
Easily.
who rediscover their sexuality,
Very
and one
post.
rediscovers emotional sexuality with the Christian Grey books.
With the help of a lot of Chardonnay.
Yeah, and they're drinking white wine and rosé in almost every scene.
So
Never differs.
the
What did you guys...
Well, the concept of the movie, I feel like in the pitching phase, was we can get 4 of these wonderful women. They'll only do 3 scenes together, maybe 4, and then we'll just film them off on their own in different parts of LA, and we'll get a movie. So it was like all the retirees showing up out of nowhere. A lot of good cameos, I thought.
That's true.
Yeah.
Strong.
There were a lot of good cameos.
Yeah. I don't think people are worried about spoilers. You could probably reveal
I don't give a shit. No one's going to see this
Yeah,
movie.
no one cares about spoilers. Except if we're talking about Adam's dick right there.
You can't see it.
It's pretty
It's
spoiled.
a dark hole.
Not when we put it in post.
We're also kind of 3 little pigs right now. Adam is completely sober.
Yep.
Bones is drinking a little Chardonnay right here, and I got really drunk during the movie. So I brought in a flask and everything.
Nice.
Don't tell Cinemark. But I mean, for me, I don't know if you guys agree, but I actually had fun with the movie.
I
have
absolutely
very low
did.
standards. I had fun. The metaphors for vaginas were very straightforward.
They were flying hard
Yeah.
and fast.
Yeah.
There was a part where when your character, what's her name?
Candace Bergen.
Mary Steenburgen.
Oh.
Mary Steenburgen was watering her plant while reading the book.
Yeah.
I leaned over because they hadn't made any like metaphors yet, and I jokingly was just like, "Oh, she's getting wet," being dumb. But then it immediately cut to something that I've never seen
think
in
it
a
exists.
plant holder before that said like moisture meter.
Yeah.
And it went from dry up and it went zoom up to
like
wet.
a cartoon.
Yeah. It was insane. And then from that point forward, once they did that, like,
Play the.
oh,
Let's play the. Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Are you ready? We're playing the trailer. I didn't make a playlist this week, but we're watching the trailer right now, which has
It's
all
weird.
the best
We're not
parts.
even recording this.
It's like when you start releasing all that weird inside info that 99% of the people watching or listening to you don't care about. They didn't make a playlist this week? I'm out. Sorry, you're drunk. I'm
so
being mean.
the movie,
What?
of course, this is like it's like Sex in the City, like in a dementia ward or something.
It's sisterhood.
But it's got the same like archetypes, right?
Kinda.
It's got like the hippy dippy mom. It's got sort of like the stern, like kind of tightly clenched one.
Tight.
It's got the dirty slut.
Kind of.
And then the other one.
The dirty.
No, I thought
Jane Fonda's the dirty slut.
Jane Fonda was fantastic.
Yeah,
She's the independent woman. Too independent. That's what you learn.
Yeah, dirty.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, they're all cartoon characters, basically.
Yeah.
So you've got Candice Bergen, who you may remember from Murphy Brown. Everyone listening.
You don't.
I do. But, yeah, she's the one who hasn't banged in 18 years. You've got the Jane Fonda, who's slutting it up well into her late 60s, as she should.
But she hasn't loved for 40 years.
Refuses to love. Diane Keaton's character is newly widowed, but she kind of doesn't give a shit about her dead husband, which I think
because they were growing apart for a long time.
Yeah, and then you got Mary. How do you pronounce her name? Mary
Steenburgen, baby.
Who's Ted Danson's wife in real life, who is banging in this film.
God, she looks good.
She's aged.
She's always looks good.
Quite well. Yeah.
The ages are all over the place. Like Jane Fonda's got to have 20 years on Steenburgen, right?
Probably. But plastic surgery wise, I don't know.
Well, there was some ageism in this movie where like when they were at the mall, when Diane Keaton was at the mall with her kids, and they're like, just sit here
Well,
while we go up the escalator.
Clarify, her kids are Alicia Silverstone and other woman.
Well, she was in the League.
Yeah,
She's married to Mark Duplass.
Whatever, I don't watch the League. But either way, women.
You ever heard of Mumblecore?
Yeah, it's terrible. It was like women in their early to mid 30s just talking completely down to their mother like she's going to slip and fall and kill herself. I was angry at at Alicia Silverstone.
Ah, what'd you do? I brought back an old friend, everybody.
Why? There's no S&M in the movie.
But the movie's about 50 Shades of Grey.
It's not. It's not, though.
My bones! Ow!
Yeah.
My arthritis!
Oh, something else is coming on.
I don't know. I was telling John as soon as we left the film, I don't think I've ever seen a movie forget about its premise so quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
It starts off with all these women doing their was it monthly or like, I don't know.
It's a monthly. Every month they read a book.
Book a month club, which opens up with a montage of them through the years, which
with worst Photoshop.
The sloppiest Photoshop.
It looked like there was a professor, or like if the film director or producer was also like a Photoshop teacher on the side. He said, "I'll have my students do it."
Yeah.
And my God, if you have a chance, if you're at the movie theater and book club's playing, just pop in for the beginning.
For the first 5 minutes.
Just to see. I hate to be judgmental about Photoshop work, but my God, it's like they didn't really try much. We were all just visibly uncomfortable.
And then
how bad they try to youngify them.
Later in the movie, they flew in a little private plane, and it was the worst green screen ever. We're just cracking up.
Between that and like the scenic shots and the top of buildings, this movie had like more green screen than a sci-fi epic.
They couldn't leave the set. They're old.
Yeah.
They need a.
Jane Fonda looks good, though.
Yeah, she's looking good there.
She's always looked fine. Barbarella herself.
Barbarella.
So the old ladies decide we're gonna spice things up because one person gets to choose every month, and they're all sort of in that phase of, man, I wish I got laid, but I don't because we're all old.
100?
Yeah,
How old are they?
They're not 100.
They're like 100.
They're all like
old.
retirement age. So one of them's like, my husband, like I'm really horny, but my husband won't give it to me, and he keeps falling asleep, which is sad.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, Coach fans.
Yeah,
Your old boy.
Also, another another TV show you guys are too young to remember.
Craig T. Nelson's in
The
this.
voice of Mr. Incredible.
Oh yeah, let's
try to identify with the kids these days. But then you've got the Candice Bergen character who's a judge, and she's like, screw men, I don't need this.
I've got a cat.
Yeah, she's like, I got a cat.
And then she's like, my cat's not feeling good. She takes to the vet, and she's like, my cat's just been really lazy, hasn't done anything. And the vet goes, looks like we've got a lethargic pussy.
Yeah.
And she goes, are you?
Yeah. And then continuing on with a great ad for Bumble,
Yeah.
Which-
Bumble sponsored this movie, so
Buca de Beppo did.
Yeah, Buca de Beppo did too.
Yeah, and Zillow apparently, like a lot of product placement to get this movie.
There was
off
some
the ground.
weird product placement, but Bumble was straight up throughout this whole movie. They had super swiping in there, and
Is that a thing?
Don Johnson.
I've never used. So you're currently
You're
bumbling.
on Bumble.
I haven't paid for any Bumble coins.
Time to update
You have to pay
your
for
profile.
coins.
No, super swiping. So it's like a special thing.
This podcast is going in a whole nother direction now because I want to hear about this.
Okay.
You don't wanna
This
talk
is
about
a standard
book
with
club?
most dating apps is that you swipe right, but if you really like the person, you want to get their attention, you do like a super swipe or whatever.
What?
It's actually called super swipe in Bumble.
Okay.
And it'll say like, on Tinder, you get one free a day. So it's like,
One free what?
one free super swipe.
Oh, I see.
So it's like it lights
So-
up and
so
it's like
instead of
this
saying-
person used their one thing.
Okay, so instead of saying "hey," you're saying "hey."
Hey.
Well, I mean, it does get people to match with you. Like it does make you stand out from the crowd. Like anytime I've on Tinder, anytime I've done a swipe up instead of a swipe right, they'll match with me. Just and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Okay.
And then they'll unmatch with me.
So who's the antagonist in book club? Because I have an answer.
They're vagina. They're
Time?
menopause.
Exactly.
Time
is a construct.
I just want to get back to Diane Keaton's character. They go to the mall and they're like, "Oh, you can't go up this escalator. Have a seat." And she sits down and there's all these like comatose elderly people like laying there all decrepit, and she gets a phone call and she's like, "I feel like I'm in a scene of The Walking Dead." It's like, you're going to be there in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, the movie's trying to say that, like, oh, you shouldn't be ageist against people. But then she shows people that are, I don't know, 7 years older than her. And they're like corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
told you
as we
about
were
it.
walking into the theater, like, I think 6 different super elderly people were being rolled out.
I noticed that.
I'm pretty sure that they went to a matinee screening of our movie, and that's why they were leaving as we were going in.
No, they were seeing Solo and Cinemark XD.
Right in the chairs.
Blown away.
Right.
Oh, I wish they had those chairs for this movie.
Yeah, we had D-Box for
Oh, man.
every time someone didn't get laid.
Yeah, every time nobody. Yeah, another thing, for all of you going into this movie hoping to see Mary Steenburgen masturbate in a bathtub,
No one thought that was going to happen.
does not happen.
Bones and I
Save
both
your
thought
money.
that there was going to be like a bean flicking montage.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure it's a PG-13 because they got 1.5 fucks out of the movie.
That's right. They had to cough over one of their fucks.
Yeah.
It was so blatant. That was the weirdest thing. She's like, "I like to." It was great.
It was, well, they're quoting 50 Shades, which we'll talk about the biggest missed opportunity later as I
Yeah, that's true.
stumbled
yeah.
upon. But I want to talk, the thing, the scary part about this whole movie is Diane Keaton's character. You can kind of see she's older, but she's not that old. She's still like a fun lady or whatever. She lives in a home by herself. She lives in like a pretty nice,
Not
like
a home. Her
no,
home.
She lives in her
she
house.
lives in a house, like a very nice suburban house, and her kids are saying, "Move with us, get out of Santa Monica, come to Arizona," which no one should willingly want to go to Arizona unless you just have no blood in your body and you need the heat, like a lizard or
you have
something like that.
arthritis.
What? Or you have arthritis.
A lot of
Exactly.
old people move to arid, hot climate.
It was just strange. They're like, "Come move into our basement," but there was never any talk of sell your house. Like, she lives in a very nice home, which
These women have their shit together.
they really do.
They really do.
And granted, she calls her kids out at the end, but not in the way that I wanted. It frustrated me that she didn't say, like,
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, kids.
Like,
Seriously.
I believe you called one of her daughters a cunt in the middle of
I whispered.
He
cunt.
whispered cunt to me during this.
They play cunt well, and I don't think they were acting very hard.
No. Alicia Silverstone, notorious.
Yeah.
Notorious cunt.
Vegan.
Please come on our show. We'll invite
She
you to
doesn't-
talk about your latest film.
She doesn't go on the. Which one?
We'd love to talk about Clarissa Explains It All.
That's not her.
Not even close.
Clueless, the TV show.
Not on that
no,
one.
she wasn't on that either.
What?
Nope, sorry.
thinking
Have you
about
seen
it.
any movies?
Secret World of Alex Mack.
Ooh, one of the missed opportunities you wanted to talk about.
I can talk about it now. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Don Johnson is in this film. You may know him from Nash Bridges fame and other TV shows such as Miami Vice.
Tin Cup.
That's one. Yeah. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's got a daughter named Dakota Johnson, who starred in a few different movies here and there, but most namely, the 50 Shades franchise.
Hell yeah, she did.
Missed opportunity. Doesn't even show up or is mentioned in the film. I'm pretty sure Don Johnson is unaware that his daughter is in Smut.
Filthy Dakota.
I mean, I guess it was sort of an Easter egg that he is
Unaware of.
No, nobody knew.
You think the directors didn't know?
Nobody knew.
Tweet him and ask. I'm sure we're watching some like BS interview junket that they did of the one guy who wanted to do interviews with some of these hot broads. And he may have asked, but I refused to watch this not muted.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Hello, and welcome to a little interlude interview with this beautiful boy over here, Lawrence. Now, Lawrence, I hear that you've actually used hymns and that you can speak personally about your experience with it.
You know, that's true. That's absolutely true. I'm pretty sensitive about it, but I'm willing to open up here to you today.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm a woman, so I don't think it's for me. It's more for the boys.
That's true, but I just feel emotionally connected to you. I don't feel like I'll be mocked.
Nice. Of course not. Now, I did read that 66% of men will start losing hair by the age of 35.
That does seem like an absurdly high number. I guess I could count myself among them. Not quite 35 yet, but I don't know. I've been staring at the old hairline, and it seems to be thinning out, so...
Yeah, so you used this product. What was the experience like?
Well, I went to the website, filled out a short questionnaire. What sort of hair loss are you experiencing? Which parts of your head? That sort of thing. Then I had to take photos of my hairline, like front, side, back, send them in to the doctor that Tim's paired me with. The initial photos I took were kind of blurry. Maybe I was getting a little nervous about the hair loss process. But
get the shakes.
Yeah, you know, you get old man hands, you just getting all crinkly.
Don't I know about that?
Yeah, we all know about that. So I had to retake some photos, and then they prescribed me finasteride, which arrived in a box with some other goodies, full dosage instructions, side effects, that sort of thing. And I've just been taking it as prescribed since.
Very cool. What if people already have a doctor?
Well, I think HIMS would recommend that you don't circumvent that doctor in any way. You can go to a doctor you trust, ask them about the process. If they say that it's safe, then go ahead with it. If they have other advice, certainly follow that. It's my understanding that if you have a doctor, they can prescribe you medicine, and then you can just transfer that prescription to him. So instead of a pharmacy filling the prescription, it would be him.
Oh, so you can use it as a delivery service. You don't have to go into the pharmacy.
That's correct.
That sounds just wonderful. Well, cool. For our listeners, you can order now and get a trial month of hymns for just $5 today, right now while supplies last. See the website for full details, but this would cost hundreds if you went straight to the doctor or a pharmacy. So go to forhims.com/filmhouse. That's forhims.com/FILMHAUS. forhims.com/filmhouse. All right. Thank you very much. And we're gonna get back to what we were doing earlier. Back to the show. All right, guys.
Here's a question for the audience. Did you stick around for the ad read?
What? Are you trying to be sexy right now?
Oh, God, it's so disgusting. Oh, but there is
this movie got me hot and bothered.
There is a mid-credit scene in this, so
what?
So don't run off when the credits roll, everybody.
Barely.
So back to the movie.
Oh, well, you want to talk about Bonergate?
What?
Bonergate.
Yeah, Craig T. Nelson Bonergate.
Yeah. So, what's her face? What's your name?
This is
Mary
Steenburgen. Burgeon.
Mary Steenburgen.
You know, it sounds like
Roofies her husband.
We were talking about this on the way back. Had this movie flipped the script, and it was a man giving drugs to his wife.
Well, do they have horny pills for women?
It's not okay. Here's the deal. He's no longer pleasuring her, even though she dresses in her old waitress outfit, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
He won't do it. All he wants to do is ride his bicycle. So,
which is a metaphor for her pussy.
Right.
I'm sorry, vagina hole.
Oh God, so much worse. So she goes out. They go out to a bar together one night. She slips a Viagra in
two Viagra.
She slips two Viagra in his beer, which is kind of creepy. And if you switch the gender roles, it's downright criminal.
Yeah.
Well, hard cut to them driving home and her being like, "Whoa, oh no," and he's like, "Sweetie, this is like, why would you do that?"
It's
He was
humiliating.
like genuinely mad, and it
Yeah.
He
was
popped a
justified.
boner in the middle of a bar.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, look at it," and she's grabbing. He's like, "Jesus Christ!" and he's swerving. He's pulled over by the cops, and like this should be a wake up call for her of like, you clearly have an addiction problem with sex, and you should seek help. But instead, you're drugging your poor husband, who is suffering through his own demons right now. She never asks, "What's wrong with you?" It's always, "I need this, me." Which once again, if you flip the roles, it would have been a completely different movie, and it would have been like, what a monster. But because it's a lovable woman in her twilight years, it's not twilight years. What do you call it?
Well, no, this book was inspired by Twilight. It's a remake. It's fan fiction.
No, that makes
Twilight.
sense. Yes.
Why
Her
are
50
we-
Shades years.
Look at that.
Why is Craig T.
scarf
Nelson wearing a
thing.
scarf?
Oh my god.
He's keeping his
He's wearing a cardigan and a scarf and a t-shirt.
because he's an actor and he's trying to keep his throat warm
He's crutching
for
puss all the time.
Yeah, he is.
probably.
Let's talk about cameos. Richard Dreyfuss.
That's
Wallace Shawn. Andy Garcia, not technically a cameo, also in this movie.
Wallace Shawn's the guy
Begley
from Princess Bride.
Yeah.
The Inconceivable.
And Clueless.
Oh.
with Alicia Silverstone.
Yep.
There were so many paths that could have crossed that didn't happen.
My favorite cameo was Ed Begley Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Ed Begley's
great.
in
I
it.
saw him on the subway once. He's a
really?
nice, well, because he
delight.
He's all green.
he loves the environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
He like rides his bike everywhere, takes the metro, won't talk to you, won't even look at you. And I was just like, loved you in Arrested Development, man. It's good
He's
stuff.
wonderful. If you guys like Ed Begley Jr., there's a show on Hulu. It's a Hulu original, and I now cannot think of
Welcome
the name
to
of
the
show.
anonymous Hulu show podcast
Where
with
we-
John Smith.
We talk about
Oh, what
movies
is that?
and shows
Hold on.
that John forgets.
I gotta find out the name of that show.
You do that. We're going to talk a little bit about
So-
Richard Dreyfuss.
Well, at first I want to say, like, another thing, you will not see Mary Steenburgen just go to town on herself in a bathtub, as
never-
we all thought she was
Never
going to.
promised.
But if you ever did want to see Craig T. Nelson's tiny, crooked erection.
Why was it so crooked?
because
Was he wearing a strap-on with a dildo attached
I
to
think
it?
what they were trying to do is, what's a movie where they had an erection and it was like very clearly an erection? I'm trying to
I
remember.
can name a lot, but you probably
They're
haven't
pornos.
seen
Yeah,
it.
they're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie, I was disappointed because, all right, not I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it was a book. It was a movie about women who are reading 50 Shades, and so it's supposed to be like this crazy sexual awakening of these women in their later years because of 50 Shades.
Right.
But there was nothing like they mentioned 50 Shades in the very beginning in the first act. Then they literally tossed the books at each other to start each successive act. But then they never. It's like it never has anything to do with it. No one ever does S&M. No one ever explores it.
There's one shot where they go to a bar or like a restaurant and there's whips because there's like it's like a equestrian
It's like
sort
a
of ranch.
It's like an old Westy bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so there's
yeah.
some whips and she like kind of looks at it. But
That was it.
I'm pretty sure the movie's aiming for PG-13 because they don't want old broads. What the fuck? It's
Like,
just going off your
The
history.
closest you get to sex in this movie is Candace Bergen raw dogging Richard Dreyfuss in the back of her car,
Even that was.
and they don't even show it. Why are we looking at
brief.
elephants?
Well,
no, this is
baby
the other trailer.
Yeah.
There you can see there's Diane Keaton helping Andy Garcia out of the pool.
Oh,
Man,
right.
Andy Garcia, I'd only really known him from Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to bang Andy Garcia
looked
in this
good.
movie.
What? No, he was creepy as fuck.
He
He's like, hey,
There's a
what kind of book you read?
Well, he meets her on the plane. He's sitting middle row, and Diane Keaton clumsily, like a doofus, climbs over him, and he immediately grabs her ass.
He saves her.
And he's
on.
like, yeah. And then she falls over and she has her hand on his dick,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh. And then I think they part ways. They're talking about planes going down, and like it's a very awkward conversation, and nothing he's saying is charming, or he's just, that sounds great. Looking good.
Smoky.
Yeah.
And he got his flight attendant to
that was real creepy.
to get her to like take down all her personal information.
Well, it's revealed later that he's actually a pilot when she's on one of her weekly flights out to Arizona to see
Yeah.
her fucked up children.
asshole daughters.
God damn it. I thought they were lesbians for the first part. Where I was like, oh, it's kind of a progressive movie.
No.
To like, I thought it was like my daughter and my daughter-in-law who who are both and then another part where you see both of their husbands and they look like a gay couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. They did.
And I was like, oh, is that your son? And that's it. Like, what a wacky. Nope, not even gonna mention any of this. And it ended up being they were married, but they were probably in loveless relationships because most likely the guys were fucking each other.
6.3 out of 10.
Who cares what the masses think? The proles.
It was great.
There was a lot of fun ADR sound effects in this too, like dogs going.
Yeah.
Cats making noises. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
No,
What?
I don't know.
What else has Mary Steenburgen been?
Wait,
in, though?
hold on. I'm trying to look up the husband.
Who?
That's not
the husband who's funny.
The funny husband was on Always Sunny in
How will
Philadelphia.
that add to the podcast? That if you
How
find out
will these questions that you're saying add to the podcast? This was a wonderful film, and we're doing a special 2-hour-long
Can't
podcast.
let
I just
drunk John
decided
pick
it right
the
now.
movies
it's
anymore.
really weird. I mean, he sounded so excited about it, he could barely be coherent about what happened in what order.
I just want to say that maybe one of the funniest scenes was when they were in the hotel kitchen eating that smorgasbord of food, and one of them said something sexual as the hotel bartender or whatever walked by, and he did a little side glance like, "What the fuck?" It was great.
Yeah, this is like a movie that's shot by people who normally shoot either soap operas or TV commercials. It felt very amateur.
It was about as fun as sitting in a corner and watching an actual book club meet.
Almost.
Look how young and hot Bill Holderman is. He's the writer and director
What else did he
of
do?
Book Club. He does a lot of things with old people.
Oh my God, he works with Robert
He
Redford.
did
a lot.
Walk in the Woods.
I felt like
Look at
this.
all Redford movies.
I felt like this movie was taking advantage of a demographic that doesn't get a lot of movies made for them.
Yes.
It's usually starring Morgan Freeman, Robert De Niro, Clint Eastwood.
And they go on a road trip.
But they said, but what about the female demographic? Is what someone said and went ka-ching and thought of the dollar signs that they can make off of these people and made a subpar film, which I do not recommend you see ever or
Dude.
pay for. I do say you sneak in and watch the beginning just for the horrific photoshops.
yeah, maybe go on Pornhub to find the Mary Steenburgen in her diner outfit.
yeah, that will definitely.
there
it is. Yeah,
There
right
it
there.
is.
I would-
And
yeah.
we saved you a click.
That might be good.
No, the wide shot for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'd recommend this movie to everybody. Go with your moms. Go
with your grandma.
I mean, maybe don't go with your mom because your mom will have to go to the bathroom in the middle of it.
Right.
About our mom's master.
He's talking about your mom going with you to the movie, being so wet between her thighs, she can't contain herself. She has to go
Pretend
into the
she's
restroom.
peeing.
Yeah, she pretends to pee. There's so much liquid coming out from between her succulent thighs that she has to stick one finger, but it's not enough. She moves to 2. She's never tried 3 before. Maybe she gets a thumb up her anus because she's trying new things because this movie has pushed her to the brink of her sexuality that hasn't been touched by your father in 45 freaking years. That's what I'm saying. You might.
You broke our whip, by the way.
It's not a good whip. If
You've
I can
been playing
easily
with
break
this
it.
whip, and he's torn it apart into like 6 different pieces.
It's a good whip. It
It can handle, yeah.
pleasure Bones' mom, but it doesn't.
So if you love,
Are you done imagining your mom sitting on a toilet seat, which moments ago had a 45-year-old retired Latino woman
or John?
who took a massive dump in there because she was holding it all day because she was waiting in line at the DMV because she had to get her license renewed because her vision's going, and followed by your mother who's got to finger herself with the wafting smell of whatever cafeteria food she could sneak in at the time.
All right, well, this has been Funhaus.
I just want the record to show that there are actual writers in my family, and this is what I do for a living.
I really just wanted to, do something nice to the fans, just bring it back, talk about a movie that we all loved, that we all were going to love, and
I don't.
Adam just took a fat dump on it. I really just want you guys to remember that your parents have feelings too, and they would need to live too. Don't treat them like that lady from The League, Mark Duplass's wife, and Al. And Just let them live their lives. And if they haven't fallen in love in 40 years, maybe let them see this movie too. All right, so that's it. That's what we're going to do.
I smell my whip.
Steenburgen doesn't masturbate.
Yeah, and Mary Steenburgen does not masturbate. But we will have some Rule 34 that later drawn by me. Colored by Bones.
If you like this video, be sure to check out all of our other 50 Shades reviews. They're there. We're doing this thing now at the end of videos where we're saying physically click out. I want to talk for 20 seconds because it's better than the normal click outs.
Oh, really?
Because
I wasn't told about this.
I'm doing it now because we had a meeting with YouTube and this is good. So if you can click all the stuff in YouTube, all these videos and check them out, you can see John naked.
That's right here in front of my face.
That would help us a lot. Help us out. Let's get that YouTube algorithm going. Is my 20 seconds up yet? I'm in a dress.